Chisom was a vibrant, intelligent young woman from a small village named Ashi. She had moved to the city to pursue her dreams. The busy city offered her opportunities beyond her imagination. She worked as a bank manager and lived a comfortable life, balancing her career with her passion for art. It was at a charity arts exhibition that she met Obinna. Obinna was a successful architect, known for his charm and eloquence. They locked eyes across the room, and Obinna, with his confident steps, walked over to introduce himself. "Good evening, beautiful," he said with a smile that melted her heart. Chisom blushed. "Good evening. Are you an artist or a patron?" "Neither," Obinna replied, his voice warm. "I'm here to support a friend, but I think I've just found my reason for being here tonight." Their conversation flowed effortlessly. By the end of the evening, they exchanged numbers. That night marked the beginning of a love story that would blossom into a beautiful marriage. Chisom and Obinna's relationship was filled with joy and mutual respect. Obinna admired Chisom's determination and intelligence, while Chisom loved Obinna's kindness and ambition. Their love was tested by challenges, but they always emerged stronger. When Obinna proposed to Chisom after 2 years of dating, it was a magical moment. He took her to a private beach where he had set up a candlelit dinner under the stars. As the waves crashed softly in the background, he got down on one knee and held out a ring. "Chisom, you've brought so much light into my life. Will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded yes. "Obinna, 1,000 times yes." Their wedding was a grand affair. It brought together family and friends from all over. Chisom's mother, Adaobi, was the happiest person there, all smile as she watched her daughter walk down the aisle. Adaobi had always been a strong presence in Chisom's life, a widow who raised her daughter with strict discipline and unwavering love. Chisom and Obinna settled into married life seamlessly. Their shared goals and values made their bond unbreakable. They moved into a modest but cozy home in the city, which they decorated together. Life was good, and Chisom often found herself thanking God for blessing her with a loving husband and a peaceful home. When Chisom discovered she was pregnant, their joy knew no bounds. Obinna doted on her throughout the pregnancy, attending every doctor's appointment and fulfilling her cravings without complaints. They prepared for the arrival of her child with excitement, turning the spare room into a nursery. The birth of their son, Somtoshuku, was the happiest day of their life. Chisom cried as she held her baby for the first time. Overwhelmed by love, Obinna stood by her side, equally emotional. "This is our miracle," Chisom whispered. "Yes, our little Somto," Obinna said, kissing her forehead. The weeks that followed were both challenging and rewarding. As first-time parents, Chisom and Obinna navigated sleepless nights and endless diaper changes with teamwork and laughter. Despite the tiredness, their home was filled with love and joy. 6 weeks after Somto's birth, Adaobi called Chisom to announce her visit. "My daughter, I need to come and see my grandson," Adaobi said. Chisom hesitated for a moment. "Mama, you don't have to worry yourself. We are still adjusting. Nonsense, Adobe interrupted. Am I a stranger? I will only stay for a short while to help you. You need your mother now. Chisom sighed. Alright, Mama, you're welcome anytime. It was a bright hot afternoon when Adobe arrived the city. She had been on the road for hours, traveling from her small village to visit her daughter Chisom, who had recently given birth, carrying a small suitcase filled with gifts and provision, groundnuts, dried fish, bitter leaf, and a bottle of homemade palm oil. Adobe looked forward to spending time with her daughter and her new grandchild. But little did Chisom know that her mother's visit would reveal secrets and change their lives forever. Hey lovelies! Hope you are following up with this story and hope you find this story interesting. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you've not subscribed, and drop a comment. Grab your popcorn as we dive deeper into the more intriguing parts of this story. Thank you! Chisom heard the horn of the taxi outside her gate and rushed to the door. Her 6 weeks-old baby was resting in her arms. She smiled as she saw her mother step out of the cab, her wrapper tied firmly around her waist, and her matching headscarf barely drenched from heat. Mama, welcome oh, Chisom called out, welcoming her mother as she steps out of the taxi. My daughter, Adobe exclaimed, her face lighting up. She dropped her suitcase and hugged Chisom tightly, careful not to squash the baby. This child looks just like his father. Ah, Chisom, you've done so well. Well done. Thank you, Mama. Let me take your bag, Chisom offered, struggling slightly to carry the bag. No, let me hold my grandchild first, Adobe insisted, reaching for the baby. She cradled him expertly, singing in Igbo language as she followed Chisom into the house. The house was modest but comfortable, with a cozy living room, adorned with family photos and baby toys scattered across the floor. Adobe glanced around approvingly. So this is where you live now, eh? City life suits you, Chisom, she said, settling into a chair. Chisom smiled but felt a sense of unease. Her mother's visits were usually brief, but something about the way Adobe looked at the house made her feel unsettled. Later that evening, Chisom's husband Obinna arrived home. He greeted Adobe warmly, bowing slightly as a sign of respect. Ah, Mama, welcome. How was your journey? He asked. It was long, my son, but seeing my grandchild makes it worthwhile, Adobe replied, smiling warmly. The evening passed eventfully. Adobe cooked a pot of bitter leaf soup, which everyone enjoyed. But as the days turned into weeks, Adobe's presence began to feel less like a visit and more like an invasion. She started taking over the household duties, rearranging furniture and criticizing Chisom's parenting skills. You're holding the baby wrong, Adobe would say. In my time, we knew how to raise children properly. Chisom tried to be patient, but her mother's constant interference grated on her nerves. She confided in Obinna one evening. She's taking over everything, Chisom said desperately. She's your mother, Chisom. Obinna replied. She means well. But it wasn't just Adobe's interference that bothered Chisom. She noticed how her mother seemed to spend more time with her husband, Obinna, laughing at his joke and engaging him in long conversations. At first, Chisom dismissed her unease as paranoid, but the feeling persisted. Mama, When do you intend to go back to the village? Chisom asked cautiously one morning as they prepared for breakfast. Adaobi glanced at her daughter, her hands deftly peeling yams. Go back? Chisom, are you chasing me away? This is my grandchild we are talking about. Don't you want me to help you raise him properly? It's not that, Mama, Chisom said hesitantly. It's just that Obinna and I need our privacy. Adobe's expression darkened. Privacy? Is it privacy that cooks soup and cleans the house? Look at you, still weak from childbirth, and you're talking about privacy. You young people don't know the value of family. Chisom said nothing, but her unease grew. That evening, she confided in Obinna. She's been here for 3 months now, Chisom whispered. I don't think she plans to leave. Obinna sighed. She's your mother, Chisom. How can I tell her to leave? You know how the elders will talk. I just feel something is off, Chisom said, her voice trailing off. One afternoon, Chisom walked into the living room to find her mother and Obinna laughing over a joke. Their heads were close together, and the sight made her stomach churn. What's going on here? Chisom asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Nothing, my dear, Obinna said quickly, standing up. Your mother was just telling me a funny story about the village. Adaobi smiled, but there's something in her eyes that made Chisom uneasy. Chisom's instinct kept telling her that something is going on between Obinna and her mother, but she can't explain exactly what was wrong. Later that day, she told her mother she will be going to the market to get groceries for the house. Obinna, on the other hand, was off from work. She left the house, leaving her baby with her mom and husband. She was just half-mile away from the grocery shop when she remembered she forgot her wallet and the cash for the shopping. She hurriedly went home. To her greatest surprise, the scene right in front of her sent cold shivers down her spine. Mama, what are you doing with my husband on my matrimonial bed? She exclaimed with shock. Obinna hurriedly pushed Adaobi, who was right on top of him, away and tried to wear his clothes. Babe, please, I can explain. It's not really what you think, he stammered. It's your mother. She seduced me into doing this. Chisom, with tears on her face, said, How long have this been going on? They both bent their face in shame and couldn't respond to the question. Later that evening, as they sat down for dinner, Chisom decided she couldn't hold back any longer. Mama, I need to ask you something, she began. Adaobi raised an eyebrow. What is it? Why are you still here? Chisom asked bluntly. Adaobi set down her spoon, her expression unreadable. Still here? Chisom, do you think I came here for a holiday? I'm here to protect you. Protect me from what? Chisom demanded. Adaobi leaned back, a sly smile spreading across her face. From yourself, my dear, and from this man you call your husband. Chisom froze. What do you mean? Adaobi chuckled. You are too naive, Chisom. Do you think I don't see what is happening here? Obinna and I understand each other in ways you never could. A man like him deserves a strong, experienced woman. Chisom's jaw dropped. Are you saying? Yes, Adaobi interrupted. I've taken him from you. He's mine now. Mama, so you have no remorse for what you did with my husband. Obinna, and you are here, sitting without even saying anything. The revelation hit Chisom like a thunderbolt. She turned to Obinna, who looked away, his guilt written all over his face. Is this true? Chisom whispered, her voice trembling. Obinna stood up, avoiding her gaze. Chisom, I didn't mean for it to happen. She seduced me, Seduce you? Chisom screamed, tears streaming down her face. She's my mother. Adaobi remained calm, almost smug. Love is love, Chisom. You will understand one day. You have to leave, Chisom said, her voice shaking with fury. Leave! This is my home now, Adaobi said firmly. You are the one who should leave if you can't handle it. That night, Chisom packed her belongings. She took her baby and left the house. Her heart shattered. She moved in with a friend, refusing to return until Adaobi was gone. Months passed, and the scandal spread like wildfire. The village elders eventually intervened, shaming Adaobi and forcing her to return to her village. But the damage was done already. Chisom never forgave her mother. Her marriage to Obinna ended in divorce. Years later, Chisom rebuilt her life. She raised her son alone, stronger and wiser from the experience. She never spoke to Adaobi again, but the memory of the betrayal served as a constant reminder of the fragility of trust and resilience of the human spirit. Hey lovelies, let me know in the comment section, what will you do if you were in Chisom's shoes? Would you forgive your mother and husband? Do you think Chisom should have seen the signs earlier, or was she right to trust her mother? How important is it in setting boundaries with family members in a marriage? What role do you think Obinna played in allowing Adaobi to overstep her boundaries? Could he have prevented this? What advice would you give to someone dealing with betrayal from a loved one? Do you believe Adaobi's actions were justified by her feelings, or were they purely selfish? How can couples protect their relationships from external family members? If you were friends of Chisom, how would you support her through this situation? What lessons can parents and children learn about respect and boundaries from this story? Do you think reconciliation is possible after such a betrayal? Why or why not? Also, let me know the moral lessons you've learned from this story. The story highlights the importance of trust, boundaries, and self-respect in relationship. It teaches that boundaries are crucial. Even with close family members, boundaries must be respected to protect the sanctity of a marriage. Betrayal has consequences. Actions driven by selfishness can destroy relationships and reputation, leaving scars that may never heal. Resilience is key. Despite the pain of betrayal, Chisom's journey shows the strength and courage it takes to build and move forward. Communication is vital. Open and honest conversation between partners can help prevent misunderstandings and external interference. Family should support, not sabotage. Parents should act as the pillars of support for their children, not sources of conflict or harm. Hey lovelies! This brings us to the end of this wonderful story. I'll be waiting for you in the comment section to share with me what your thoughts are and what moral lessons you've learned from the story. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel at African Storytales by Evie. Kudos to my founding subscribers who has always stick around with me. Like, share with family and friends, and stay tuned for more interesting and mind-blowing story coming your way. I remain your favorite storyteller, African Storytales by Evie. Bye!